Hey there, everyone, it is Tyler Pyron for CMS-Connected, and if you happen to watch our last episode, well, you know, we were just a little bit wet. Now, if you happen to miss it, let me set the stage for you. We were on the Lady Liberty Clipper in Boston Harbor. It started out to be an absolutely beautiful day, and then, well, the rain came. It absolutely downpoured. We had our guest Lou Giordano on with us, who I still think actually is the one that brought the rain with him. Sorry, Lou, I had to call you out on that. But it was absolutely torrential downpours during the interview. And unfortunately, we were supposed to have a Skype guest, Mark Floisand, from Coveo on as well. Now, with the weather and due to the conditions, the connection was less than spectacular, so we were unable to bring Mark on. However, we were able to get him on Skype now that we're back on inside the editing room, and we have Mark on right now. So Mark, welcome in. How you doing?
I'm well. Thanks very much for having me, and glad to be able to join the conference this time.
Great to have you for sure. And glad that we're all kind of thawed out now that we're back in the editing room. Sorry, let's kind of jump right in, Mark, and let's talk about enterprise search and really what's least understood about enterprise search right now.
Tyler, it's a good point. I think that when people think about enterprise search, they have a view of it's just a way of going and retrieving information when you look for it. Uh, we see that things have changed, and that really whether you're a website visitor, whether you're an employee in an organization, whether you're someone at a website looking to self-service, all of those things are opportunities to enable people to get access to information, very often using search as the primary navigation vehicle, but equally being able to present them information in ways that perhaps they were previously unfamiliar with or weren't expecting. Not everything needs to start with, for example, a specific typed search, but the underlying search capabilities can power many other types of experiences as well. You think of things like personalization of websites, employee experiences on digital workplaces, and you have folks like Forrester out there saying that something like 75% of people that were looking for website content couldn't see it in a personalized fashion, and only 20% of them could get to it through search. It's those kind of things that are fundamentally not understood about search, that it can be used in so many other ways to improve the experience.
So, Mark, you just mentioned Forrester, and I want to bring them up. I want to talk about Forrester. I want to talk about Gartner. These firms, they all seem to be using different names and calling it something different other than enterprise search right now. What's the reason behind it, or are they just kind of leading the vendors a little bit?
It's a good point. I think the enterprise search moniker, if you like, has been around a long time. People have been doing search inside organizations for, well over a decade. And, Google just celebrated their 18th birthday this past week. So, as consumers, we're very familiar with search. There's an entire generation that know nothing but search. So the term's kind of hackneyed, and in fairness to the analyst firms, I think they've recognized that. They've recognized that their clients are looking for more than traditional enterprise search, and that the technology that is kind of going on has enabled a lot more to be done. Think of it like there's so many more capabilities, there's so much more information that can be surfaced based on the way that people portals, intranets, websites, and the like, the analytics data that can be gleaned from what people are looking for, their intent that can be, inferred based on the kind of things they search for and ultimately what they find. All of these things are really pushing the boundaries and providing the kind of insights that are causing the analysts to really relook at the category. You're seeing terms like insight engines from Gartner, proactive search, conative search. These are all terms that are implying that there's a lot more information that can be gleaned about what people are looking for, and indeed that search is moving to become more kind of predictive, more relevant, more proactive than simply waiting for someone to type something in a box.
Yeah, I just heard the word intentions, and that's definitely something we covered with Lou Giordano. And we actually also talked about analytics, and that's something I want to talk to you about. What's the role analytics plays within enterprise search, or should I say proactive search?
Well, because everything can be measured, people want to manage it. And if you think of the average set of visitors to a site, for example, some 30% of people, depending on the category, are actually using search as a key primary navigational vehicle. So measuring that, a third of your visits and understanding how their behavior might be different from casual visitors is hugely important. They have different expectations. They're in a different phase of their buying journeys. They're more likely to convert to purchase. Analytics underpin the ability to measure that to it. We also know that for any technology investment, there's an increasing expectation, whether it's an investment by marketing, by IT, by sales, there's an increasing expectation to be able to see the return on it. And so, for example, we see in some of our clients, we have a leading software company who has been very diligent about measuring things like case deflection. So when people come to their site looking for self-service, how able are they to surface the right information at the right time? And they measure that by really looking at what cases gone into a contact center, how many of those have they been able to deflect and keep customers happy? And for them, that's about a 30% deflection. Each percentage point is worth about $1 million. So this is hugely important, both from a measurement of ROI point of view. The other piece of it, of course, is that everything leaves a digital trail that can be used to improve the experience for the customer. And so how does one take advantage of the language that someone's using in their search to really understand the true intent, to find what they ultimately were looking for, and use that, for example, in machine learning fashions to make that experience better for other people? Analytics is crucial to enable all of those things to take place. So, for example, at Coveo, we use a technology called Coveo Reveal that enables us to look at those analytics patterns and make relevance and recommendations based on what we've seen people experience through their search journeys.
All right, Mark, lastly, the only other thing I have for you was kind of that crystal ball $1 million question. Kind of what's next down the line for enterprise search?
Right. I think that what you're seeing is people are embedding it everywhere. It's the notion of search is no longer confined to that little search box in the top right bar of a website. It's becoming a primary way of engaging. Think of mobile. We've made this huge shift as a populace to embracing much smaller devices that are with us all the time. There are more people now on the planet that have a smartphone than people that don't. That's a permanent shift in technology change. Well, when we're talking about much smaller devices becoming the norm, the ease with which people can find what they're looking for, the relevance of the information that is surfaced to them, the first or second thing that's on that screen is really all they want to look at. And that's all they've got time to look at. So utilizing the search technologies to embed them into really every experience that people have ensures the most relevant content surfaces to the top. And in a mobile-enabled world, that's really, really important. Equally, you start thinking about different form factors, whether those are intelligent agents that are actually articulating the answers that you're looking for, whether it's natural language processing that is listening to every command you instruct them to do. Whatever the input vehicle happens to be, under the hood, there's this algorithmic discovery process we call search that is finding those answers and surfacing them back into every form factor. So I think what you're going to see is that it becomes increasingly embedded in every place that customers have an experience with a brand, whether that's a virtual one, a physical one, and through various different mediums.
Mark, honestly, awesome stuff for sure. Definitely thank you for taking time out of the day. And obviously, you were lucky not to be on the boat and wet with us. But for the folks out there who want to get in touch, where can they find you?
Anyone can email me, Mark, M-A-R-K, @coveo.com.
All right, there you have it, folks. He is Mark Floisand of Coveo. I am Tyler Pyron. We'll see you on the next episode of CMS Connected.